Hello VR heads, how's it going? My name is Bruce Wooden. I'm a content launch manager on the Oculus content team. Basically what that means is that I support the last mile leading up to launch, help configure launch, and also give support post-launch for developers on Quest and also the Rift platform. What I'll be getting in today are decisions and the hard decisions you have to make as a developer looking to ship on Quest. I am making some assumptions here about who this information is going to be most useful for. My first assumption is that you want to ship on Quest, a worthy goal, lots of excitement and growth happening there. It is a great place to be, but I'm also assuming that you have not yet shipped on Quest and that you're unsure of the path to get there. Perhaps you're asking yourself over like, how do I get on Quest, and haven't yet got an answer to that question. My last assumption is that you're an experienced game developer, that you've shipped a game on PC or mobile, VR or not, but you've been through the hard work and process of design, testing, and shipping, getting something across the finish line. Okay, so with the assumptions and introductions out of the way, let's get to the meat of the discussion. You've got choices, you've got options in the Oculus ecosystem. It might look like putting in a Quest pitch right now. Maybe you've already put in a Quest pitch. Perhaps you're thinking of shipping a PC. Perhaps you're eyeing some of the Oculus programs like Oculus Start, Oculus Launchpad, maybe even Oculus for Business. Or maybe you're really excited about the new Quest distribution paths that are going to be coming up in 2021. Whatever choice that you're mulling over, what I'm going to try to do over the course of the next few minutes is really meet you where you are, go over some of the general advantages and challenges that you might face, and sprinkle a little advice on top that'll hopefully help you along. So let's start with the mobile developers that are out there. You're looking to come to Quest from mobile development. You've got some big advantages under your belt already. I'm going to assume that you and your team have your heads wrapped around mobile architecture, which is a huge, huge plus. Performance in VR is extremely important because drop frames don't just mean bad experience. They could result in physical discomfort for the user, so that you understand the CPU, GPU, and architecture on mobile is going to help you out for Quest development. The other big advantage you have coming from the mobile space is that you're probably already familiar with making a tight, concise, and delightful game interaction or game loop that's going to keep a user re-engaging with your product over those short sessions. That is also a big plus and knowledge that you can bring over to the Quest. That is also kind of one side of a big challenge as well. That seed, that delightful interaction that you have, is going to have to expand in a major, major way. Quest players are going to be looking for experiences that last hours, not minutes. So you're going to have to take that seed and grow the scope and depth and length of it to make it an experience that Quest users are going to enjoy and come back to. Another major challenge you're going to be looking at when it comes to VR development coming from the mobile space is immersive 6DoF interaction. Even if you've shipped on Oculus Go, for example, in VR mobile, you've had your user kind of still and able to rotate their head around and look around. In the move to Quest, you have a user with a lot more freedom. They're able to move themselves through 3D space, and they also have two controllers, which means two limbs to interact with the environment in a very natural and human way. This sounds all very pretty to say, but what it really comes down to is a lot of hard work and thought on your part as the developer to think of how you set the stage so you don't have disappointing and clumsy interactions that your user is going to attempt to do. If they're trying to put this thing on top of that thing and it doesn't work, you're gonna have a disappointed user, and that's no good. So my advice to you as a mobile developer is gonna be a couple things. One, play a lot of Quest games, and not just because it's a lot of fun, because there's going to be some great side benefits. It's basically a crash course in 6DoF immersive interactions. Hopefully, as you play more titles, if you're observant, you'll notice over the course of titles that there's some consistency, some best practices, some interactions that are kind of used in multiple experiences that are tried and true and that work. We've already discovered some of those in the development community. I'm also going to say that play a lot of Quest titles because you're going to really get a sense of what we mean when we say depth and scope and length and making a meaty experience that lasts hours and not minutes. Playing a lot of Quest titles will give you a first-hand sense of what I mean when we're talking about that, right? So moving right along to the PC developers, you also have a big set of advantages at your disposal. We've been talking a lot about depth and scope of gameplay. If you've been shipping game titles on PC, you are already very familiar with that. Our Quest players are going to expect experiences that are a little bit closer to a console or PC game experience than a mobile one. So if you've already been building those type of experience, that's a big leg up. If you've been shipping PC VR experiences specifically, that's also a huge plus because you've got some experience with the immersive 6DoF interactions. You've probably done some play testing and got some surprises about what users end up doing and how things end up breaking in weird ways. But that is great experience and knowledge that you're going to be able to take and bring over to Quest. So very, very important. What I am going to get into is some challenges on the PC VR side. And really, the challenge is one sentence: VR on mobile. It's going to challenge you in a lot of different ways. Technical performance is going to be one of them, right? If you don't have expertise in mobile architecture, squeezing the juice out of the CPU and GPU on mobile to meet those strict performance requirements is not going to be an easy task. Not only do you have to be concerned about technical performance, but the art assets need to be optimized, and you might be also looking at constraints based on what you're building. The number of draw calls and objects on screen, the size and scope of the stages and areas that you're building may have constraints on them because of the shift to the Quest platform. So there's going to be design challenges all around that you need to be aware of if you're looking to target Quest and really going to really try to find a way to compensate for those challenges. My advice for you as a PC developer is, one, to take an honest look and evaluation of your team's experiences and expertise and figure out what are the missing pieces between you and making a really polished, really deep, really complete Quest experience. That might look like adding a person on your team in biz dev or art or mobile development. That might mean market research or shipping a PC VR title. But you really want to make an honest assessment of your team and figure out what are you going to need to move forward and really successfully compete there. All right, so I'm almost out of time. So what I'm going to do is give you a few very important and key takeaways before I let you go. The first is concerning the Quest pitch. You really want to take a holistic point of view when it comes to putting together your concept pitch. A Quest pitch is not only about a strong concept, it's also about highlighting the strengths and capabilities of your team and really presenting a really great and strong go-to-market plan before and after launch. That's going to be extremely important. You can check out an example of a Quest pitch if you start the submission process and download an example to see what I mean there. I'm going to go back to the honest evaluation of your team, kind of evaluating where are your opportunities for growth, where are your strengths, and taking that honest evaluation and letting it inform the next decision that you make for you and your team. Whatever decision you make, be it the new distribution path next year, shipping a new PC VR title, which I would not dismiss out of hand. There's a lot of great action going on in the PC VR space. It's a great opportunity for your team to build expertise or for you to build community. The Quest Plus Link audience, for example, is substantial. So there's partial opportunity there to maybe build up some Quest awareness early. There's a lot of ways you can go, but depending on the specifics of what your team needs, what expertise you need to build, let that inform your next decision on the path forward to ship to Quest. All right, that about wraps up the time we have together. Thanks so much for listening. Again, my name is Bruce Wooden, Content Launch Manager at Oculus, and enjoy your Connect. I hope to be looking at launching your experience soon.